guys ready for the OG?
All right, Jason, take us back in time. You're a youngster. Are you a book reader, fort builder, troublemaker, or all the above?
I'm definitely a fort builder. I was a book reader with the picture books and a book writer with my own writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't say I was a troublemaker, but I think I'm trying to stop trouble.
Right.
I'm a trouble fixer.
Yeah.
I'm solutions. I'm looking to make peace treaties and to, fix things that are broken.
Would your parents agree that you weren't a troublemaker?
Yeah, I think so. I'm taking things apart. I'm trying to add value. I'm trying to, to help do stuff, not create trouble.
Right. So whereabouts did you grow up?
Well, I was born in the egg stage, in my grandmother's belly, in my mother's womb, in my mother's ovary, in my grandmother's womb and my mother's ovary. And then my mother was born in Philadelphia, and I traveled with her as an egg throughout her life. And then my mother moved to Wichita Falls, Texas with my dad in 1968, and I was born physically, came out of the womb finally in 1969 in Texas, Wichita Falls, a couple hours north of Dallas, Fort Worth. Then I moved to Baltimore, Maryland for my grade school years, Balmer Hun. And I lived in Baltimore until 5th grade. I moved to Florida, 5th and 6th grade, Brooklyn, 6th and 7th grade,
Oh, man.
Queens, 8th grade, and 9th grade moved into Manhattan, New York City, to the fame I want to live forever high school, where I began my adulthood. As soon as I was in New York City, there was no more the child is gone. The independent 13-year-old could ride the subway on his own. I was doing street performing, magic, juggling, balloon animals, had a job, contributing to the rent, and started bands and going on auditions and acting in commercials, and that was it. I was there. You throw a kid into New York City and
you thrived.
It's it. That's right. The world is yours.
So
the city is your oyster.
Yeah. Were either your parents musically inclined? Would you say that's where your roots came from?
My dad is a sax player. My grandfather's a drummer, but I didn't really hear them much growing up. And I still don't hear them very much. My dad played all the, gigs at the different events and weddings and clubs and stuff that I wasn't really privy to. And it was not much playing in the house. And my parents separated when I was 3. So I didn't have a musical, influence in the house. My mom is artistic, but she's not a musician, although she was trained like a monkey to play piano. But she doesn't have a skill. She just has a training.
Right. So was it always the voice for you? Did you pick up an instrument first?
I would pick up things and play them, whatever they were. If they had musical capability. I remember in my grade school, I think it was like 3rd or 4th grade, maybe. The first third of the year we had violin. The second third we had clarinet, and the third we had trumpet. And we played all those instruments. I was in one of those school bands, and at that point, I started writing some songs. I remember some songs. Sitting looking out of the window with my guitar, playing a song. The birds are singing in the trees, and a gentle breeze comes blowing through the door. And I'm just sitting here playing my guitar. I didn't have a guitar, and I was writing a song about sitting looking out of the window playing my guitar. I didn't get a guitar until I was 14 years old, and that song I wrote when I was probably 9.
That's awesome.
9 or 10, yeah. Very interesting. But yeah, I would pick up all the instruments that were around and play with them. And kids like to grab instruments and things that make noise and mess with them and see if they can figure out how to make them work. And definitely did that like everybody else.
So outside of grade school, did you have any formal musical training, or you just self-taught nose to
that
the
was the
grindstone.
formal training
Yeah.
in grade school right there. You're formally training. They're
Yeah.
teaching you the notes and how to play. You're not just picking up an instrument and trying to mess with it yourself until you got home and could get out of school. But then my formal training was at the Fame High School, which is the High School of Performing Arts, Music and Art.
Oh, okay.
The TV show, the movie is based after. However, it's a little bit exaggerated. Obviously, Hollywood blows everything out of proportion. I only had 2 classes of voice for the first 3 years of my high school creative arts high school experience, and then the 4th year I got some more electives. And those electives were still kind of rigid. So all of the real growth and expansion came outside of the schooling environment that was very rigid. And, just like
Yeah.
anything else in school, you got to do what they're telling you, that you got to follow the curriculum. You're not making up your own curriculum. You're not learning what it is you want to learn. You're just picking from the 3 things that they allow you to learn from. And we do our best when we're self-taught, when
Yeah.
we have enthusiasm for a thing and we go for it. We can learn the entire English language and all arithmetic and anything that we need to function in society in 200 hours. And yet we spend 12 years locked in public institutions, twisting our brains into knots,
Mm-hmm.
when all that we really need can be done in 200 hours. Crazy.
Well said,
12
man.
years of 200 hours.
Yeah. So, Jason, when you think back to, formative films and TV shows you grew up on, what pops in your head?
Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go! Just sit right back and you'll hear it tell a tale of a faithful trip that started from this tropic port aboard this tiny ship. Flintstones, beat the Flintstones, they're a modern Stone Age family. Those were
Classic.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Shamil, Shamazel, hot and fat recovery. We're gonna do it. Give us any chance, we'll take it. Lead us any rule, we'll break it. Those were the songs, and they existed based on the songs. You wanted to hear that song in the beginning, and that was it. I mean, it's what everybody tells me about Pokemon. They're running to the TV to hear the song, and it gets them so hyped. It's sort of like the last generation. Pokemon is like one of the last theme songs of in history. We don't even have that anymore.
No.
Even though a show on Netflix might have a theme song, you don't have to watch it. You can forward through it, and it's not really, something that people are running around singing. It doesn't have the same sort of function in today's media society as the theme song did at the end of the 90s into the early 2000s.
Right, and you couldn't skip the theme back then. It had to be good.
Right,
if you wanted to watch the whole thing.
It had to be good. You couldn't skip it. It was, we were relegated to the beginning of every TV show that came on.
Yeah.
The only way you could skip it is to leave the room and come back when it was done, but nobody's going to do that.
Yeah, who wants to do that? That's not fun.
No.
It's funny how things lined up today because we're talking about, great themes and how Pokemon was the last one. And right after we're finished, I'm interviewing Ron Wasserman, who was, did the X-Men and Power Rangers theme. So I was like,
go Power Rangers!
Yeah. I'm just like, just having you two on the same day for me is like, I got chills all day long.
That's excellent, dude.
So this is something I like to ask everyone just because you never know someone's background. What scared you as a kid?
Wow, what scared me as a kid? The Exorcist, that movie, that awful movie was absurd. I remember somehow some adult brought me to that movie when I was 6 or 7. And it just, that was awful. It just, your mind is what scares you. And from that point on, my brain was forever able to imagine horrible things like that and demonic structures, entities that could possibly be around. I was I was legitimately scared by the nuclear scare of
Yeah.
nuclear annihilation and getting under the desks to hide from a nuclear bomb. And I remember, various dreams, waking up from that dream of
Hmm.
some great explosions. So the fear of everything being taken out
Yeah.
right away, in a horrific nuclear explosion, which I now understand is just more fear propaganda. It's all
That's what they want.
out of your control. You can't do anything about it. Vote for me, and I'll prevent it from happening. Be afraid of this, and
Right. That's the truth.
yeah, that was one of the scares.
So, do you recall your very first time on stage performing, and did it go off smoothly?
It was epic. I mean, on an actual stage, I had some auditions for the High School Music and Art and Performing Arts, and those auditions were they weren't on stage, but I was definitely in an audition. But the first stage was the talent show of the band that I started in freshman year high school, with the drummer was in middle school, and the talent show was at his middle school. So it was for the sixth, seventh, and eighth graders, and I was in the ninth grade with a seventh, eighth grade drummer, and we played "What Happened Here" as the New York sunset disappeared. I found an empty garden. Elton John's "Empty Garden." Um, Dark in the forest, night is a wire. Seen in the subway, earth is a fire. Do 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 do. And you're not shy. You get around. You wanna fly. You want your feet on the ground. You stay up. You won't come down. You wanna live. You wanna move to the sound. Urgent from Foreigner, and I think there might have been one other one. It might have been "I the Tiger." No, no, no. It was just those three songs. And this sixth to eighth grade crowd was screaming their heads off like they were at the Beatles concert.
Yeah.
It was the most. I don't think since then I've had a concert that has had that much enthusiasm from the audience. I mean, it was full rock star, like instant rock star. All you,
Yeah.
because the rock star isn't based on what the rock star is doing. The rock star is based on what the audience is doing. And these kids, mostly girls, were just doing what they were supposed to do, which is scream as louder than our amplifiers
Yeah.
could go at our fumbling through these songs for the first time. I was so nervous running around backstage, finally getting on stage and just having this incredible rush that was fully confirmed and backed up by those seventh and eighth grade
Yeah.
girls. It was incredible.
That's great. This will be a perfect segue for fans of the show that are listening because I just interviewed Lou Graham, a foreigner,
No
and
way.
I did and just talked to Lou a couple weeks ago. And
Oh, I
yeah,
worked on Foreigner.
yeah, I was going to ask you about that. That's what nice little.
There's somewhere over here.
How did that come about for you?
Where is it?
I see Meatloaf. I see.
There it is, down here.
Yep, yep.
On my
I
shoulder.
see it. Yeah.
I work with a producer named Marty Fredrickson who did that record, and that record was also coupled with a remix of their greatest hits. So I got to add stuff to the greatest hits that
Wow.
wasn't there, like sounds and things that made like better snare drum sounds and
Yeah.
tambourines and different weird keyboards that were just kind of buried in their mix that got remixed, and then backgrounds on many of the songs on the new record, and even did a lot of writing for songs on there, but I didn't actually land any songs as a writer, even though, but I have like 10 demos of amazing songs where I'm singing like Lou Graham, even though it's their new guy, Kelly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
wasn't Lou, but Kelly's an amazing. So he's
Yeah.
actually
Great.
sounds exactly like Lou Graham.
He does.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And And that was an amazing record to be a part of, because I got to be a part of the new band and the old band with the
Yeah, that's
remix.
great. Great, man. I know we only have 30 minutes, so I'm trying to hit the highlights
Oh
for you.
yeah, hit the highlights. I love these questions, dude. You really very unique. Very
Thank
good
you. Thank you, man.
good questions.
So let's go to Pokemon, man. Just take us through, if we've been living under a rock, how the opportunity came about for you.
Well, everything you see is my behind me is like my session work.
Hmm.
Either I'm singing backgrounds for somebody, or a commercial, or a jingle, or a movie, or every day there's a different potential gig that has it's a different thing, and one of those days is Pokemon. Uh, for a company that I sang Domino's Pizza Delivers and some other jingles for. We wrote jingles for them, and they got the job to do the Pokemon music, and they knew what they wanted because Pokemon gave them a brief that said we want a young rock sound, and it's got to have this lyric, catch him if you can, and it's about this inspirational character who's catching Pokemon. Here's a
Hmm.
video of the Japanese TV show. We're dubbing it in English right now, and they call in who they think can do the job, and that was me. So I came in, I did the job, and they liked it, except they thought "Catch 'em if you can" was not the right lyric. So they went back to the drawing board and came up with "Gotta catch 'em all." And then, the recording session goes down. We do the full version. They love it. Then they want to do the full album after the TV show gets huge. They
Yeah.
start creating the other music for it. And we do the full version with the guitar solo and the riffing out and the yeah. Oh, sorry, I'm blowing it out. Let me do it.
Hey, that sounded great to me.
Uh, and that leads to number one Radio Disney single. I think it was the most played song on Radio Disney in the history of Radio Disney at that point. And then we did I'm on the road to the Radiant City, the other song that people
Yeah,
like on that record.
I know all
A
those,
couple
man.
other good songs on that one. To be a master, Pokemon master. I like that one. I didn't sing on that. I just on those two songs. And then I didn't have anything to do with Pokemon until 2016. From that point on, it was just a kids show, one of the many different things that I had done, and one of the credits on my list of the hundreds of different things that I've done. And 2016 rolls around with Pokemon Go, and people start banging the theme song. Adults that grew up on it
Yeah.
now want to hear it again, and it becomes a Spotify peaking song and all the music platforms. And that's when I kind of realized that, holy shit, this is something.
Yeah.
I really did something here. I mean, I knew Pokemon was big, but I didn't realize that the song represented it to this degree until those kids grew up, and now they're adults, and now they're locked in.
Hmm.
I'm rent free in their heads for the past 18 years, and now it's 25 years, and I've just been out of the Pokeball for 7 years, representing it at all the various places that there are to represent the song at events and parties and online and different remixes. And I got a Pokemon Go remix right here that I did, and I've done just did a hard style remake of the Pokemon theme song with Rob Gastrop and Altage Larstig, these guys from the Netherlands. I did a 2022 remix with another DJ I know. 2021 there was a remix with Fat Rat, and we're looking for 2024 Steve Aoki. That's what I'm hoping for.
Hey, it'll happen.
Or just or maybe I don't know, somebody like what's his name? I don't know, some other big DJs. Hardwell spun it at his final show. I mean, it's just these DJs are the new rock star,
Yeah.
and they are Dimitri Vegas. Maybe think he might be interested in doing a remix. So we'll see. We'll see.
Right.
But
So,
that's the story of Pokemon. I spent 4 hours. You spent 4,000 hours.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just trying to catch up now, meeting fans at events, creating products like my Jason Paige trainer card, and stickers and opportunities for people to do things and mystery packs. And I got mystery pops, and jasonpage.com/shop has a whole bunch of items that you will like. As a matter of fact, this shirt is a Pokemon inspired shirt.
Oh yeah.
Collaboration with a company called Love K, and they are going to include with every shirt an autographed OG base set card.
Oh
Some
crap.
first editions, some hollows, and you don't know what you get. It's a mystery shirt, basically. You get a
Yeah.
mystery shirt. It has either I think there's 3 you can choose from: the green, the Blastoise, we got Ivysaur, and I think there's a Charizard as well. And
Hell
then you
yeah,
get
man.
you might hit one of these big cards. Everybody gets a Jason Paige trainer card in the box, but but you don't know what autographed OG base set that you're gonna get. And somebody's gonna hit that Mewtwo worth $300
Yeah, man.
and get the shirt. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just while you're here, I didn't even know that your tag on your website was voice of a generation. I wrote it down here. You're the voice of a generation.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you could just start singing that song in a room full of people my age, and everyone's going to freeze and turn around.
Dude, did you really? You said voice
Yeah.
of a generation
Yeah.
on your own, right?
Yeah, yeah. Because I'm that generation. I know. I mean, and I know.
I resisted that tag for a very long time, and then so many people did it on their own.
Yeah.
That I said, all right, I'm gonna start calling myself the voice of a generation, because so many people have. And it was like, serious, I don't even know what that means. Like, is there another voice of a generation? Like, who's the voice of the last generation?
That's for them to decide. We picked you.
Who's the voice of my generation? Michael Jackson? Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, kind of, but Michael Jackson doesn't have cards and movies and games and ice shows, although he's starting to now. They got a Broadway show of Michael Jackson now, and he did have a little Jackson 5 cartoon back in the day.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the voice of the generation back in the day, and now I'm the new voice. I've inherited the voice of the generation. Michael Jackson. But now they're saying voice of generations because
there's
it's
a new one.
multiple. The parents are now introducing their kids to it, instead of back in the day, the parents were trying to stop their kids from engaging in Pokemon. Put that Pokemon cards away. They're taking Pokemon out of the kids. In schools, they were banning it, and now it's the opposite.
I had my cards taken away because I was trading in the bathroom.
Yep. Somebody took your holographic Charizard with $500,000 away from you. They took your house, house and cars and wealth, your kids' college funds, been taken away from you.
Yes. Well, I know we got a few minutes left here, Jason. So this is another one I like to ask everyone, just to wind down here. Have you ever had an experience you would consider supernatural or paranormal?
I believe that we are in a supernatural, paranormal reality right now, and certainly my Burning Man experiences are paranormal and supernatural. Yeah, I mean, I think that it happens often. You can sort of slow yourself down and realize that there are multiple dimensions going on at the same time, and we are all sort of in our own unique dimension and transiting through and connecting to other people's dimensions here and there. Even though when I put my hand here, it doesn't go all the way.
I'll edit it.
I can kind of reach in and pull you over. But yeah, when I interact with animals, there's an interdimensional, supernatural thing going on. There's an experiment that they do with dogs, and the dog will know when the owner is coming home because it'll go to the window 10 times more frequently when the owner decides to come home. The owner can be hours away, he can be days away. he could be minutes away, and the dog knows that the owner's coming home when the owner starts to go home, and they can film the dog, and they've done this, repeated it many, many times. The dogs always know because the dogs are connected through the fields that we exist in. And I believe that our brains are just radio antennas for all of the information that is out there. That's the supernatural. It's natural. It's supernatural. It's and I think that it's kind of related to water because we're made of water and our environment has moisture in it, and water has memory, and therefore the entire atmosphere of water is the supernatural memory that our antennas of our brains pick up.
I like that, man.
The better the water you drink and the healthier you are, the better your antenna works, the more aware you can be of all of these other fields. Just like a dog, his antenna picks up the owner from miles and miles away when the owner decides to do something, as if like there's this isn't where it's happening. It's happening in a hard drive in the sky somewhere. We're all just connected to it. The radio is playing what's coming out of it, but the source is not the radio. The radio is just picking up the source from somewhere else, translating it and putting it out. And that's what we are as human beings. We're this radio receiving the information from somewhere else. We are supernatural.
Well said. I like that a lot.
Good questions.
So just to put a bow on everything here, Jason, tell people what's on the horizon for you, where they can find you and all that good stuff.
JasonPaige.com is the first place. Jason Paige IG is blowing up. I'm over 200,000 finally. The most important thing you need to know about if you're in the LA area is both a Beatles gospel nativity, of which I am the conductor, arranger, and lead, Father Mackenzie, telling the story of the nativity, the birth of the miracle baby and Mary and Joseph and Jesus through Beatles songs.
Wow.
And gospel chorus arrangements at the Broad Stage, December 21st and 22nd. Tell your friends to get there. It's going to be an incredible Beatles gospel nativity concert. Celebration in its 14th year. We are just, it's great. It's really great. 40-person gospel choir, another 15 people as leads, 5-person rocking band, and my crazy gospel arrangements. Here comes the sun, here it comes. Gospel choir behind me, Mary and Joseph telling the story. It's beautiful. It's as if the John and Paul from the Beatles intended their lyrics to be telling the nativity story because it fits so perfectly with the lyrics of the Beatles. And that's amazing. I am going to Germany next week for Stuttgart Comic-Con. Stuttgart Comic-Con, you have to come to see. And then next year, there's a whole bunch of Comic-Cons happening. You can see my calendar at jasonpaige.com. You can go to jasonpaige.com/shop to get the autographed cards right there. And follow me on all the socials, Jason Paige YouTube, Jason Paige Facebook, Jason Paige Show on X, and Jason Paige Show on Facebook as well. Jason Paige on TikTok as well.
All of them.
1,000 Jason Paiges now. There didn't used to be, but now there's 1,000 Jason Paiges. They, matter of fact, one of them just contacted me. He was like, "Thank you for making our name famous." I was like, "Oh, cool." He was like, "Oh, all right."
Well, that's awesome, Jason. Thank you again.
Cool.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
I appreciate you, man. You have a great rest of your day.
Thank you, my friend. Good to talk to you.
You too. All right. Bye-bye, man.
Hey, hit me with the deets of where it's going to go and all that.
Will do. I'll send a link down the line once I get it edited and all that good stuff.
We'll throw it on my YouTube.
All right, man. Cool.
Peace.
Bye-bye.